A man is living a painfully ordinary life until his home is invaded by intruders. Later, a clash with Russian thugs on a bus sets off a chain of events that reveals he is far more than he seems. Let's see what happens next. Welcome to Zach Stories. In today's video, we're diving into the 2021 action thriller, Nobody. The film opens with a handcuffed, badly beaten man reaching for a cigarette. He pulls a tin of tuna from his jacket, and a small kitten emerges. Across from him, two interrogators listen as he begins his story. This man is Hutch Mansell, who on the surface is the picture of average. He has two kids and a wife, Becca, who is more successful than he is. Hutch works an unremarkable job at his father-in-law's metal fabrication company. You can see he's grown tired of his boring daily routine. His son, Blake, barely acknowledges him, and a pillow separating him and his wife in bed shows the distance in their marriage. One night, a barking dog prompts Hutch to check the house, just as two intruders break in. He tries to call for help, but a female intruder points a gun at him. He notices a tattoo on her wrist. When his son Blake tackles the male intruder, Hutch raises a golf club to strike but stops himself, telling Blake to let them go. The intruder punches him before fleeing. The incident leaves Blake with a black eye and even more resentment toward his father. The police arrive, and Hutch is furious with himself for holding back. His entire family is disappointed. That night, his daughter Sammy, the only one who seems to connect with him, sleeps on the couch with him and says they need a cat. The next day, Blake asks to interview Hutch for a school project on veterans, but Hutch dismissively says he was just an auditor. Becca suggests Blake ask his uncle, who was a real soldier. Later, a neighbor brags about how he would have fought the intruders, rubbing salt in the wound. At the factory, Hutch's brother-in-law, Charlie, questions his inaction and gives him a gun for protection, which Hutch promptly hides in the back of the fridge. His father-in-law, Eddie, discusses selling him the business, but Hutch just wants something that feels like his own. Frustrated, Hutch locks his office and contacts his brother Harry via radio, a man everyone believes is dead. Hutch explains he held back because the intruders were young, scared, and their gun wasn't even loaded. Harry tells him he did the right thing. Hutch then visits his aging father, who pointedly asks if he remembers the man he used to be. That evening, Hutch learns that Sammy's kitty cat bracelet was in the bowl of cash the intruders stole. This is the last straw. He borrows his father's old FBI badge and gun to track them down. At a tattoo parlor, he flashes the outdated badge and is mocked until he shows them a drawing of the wrist tattoo. Their attitude shifts instantly, and they give him an address. Hutch confronts the couple at their apartment, demanding the bracelet and his watch. But when their sick baby starts crying from the noise, he simply leaves, his anger unresolved. Outside, he punches a wall in frustration. On the bus ride home, a group of drunk Russian thugs boards and begins harassing the passengers, circling a terrified young girl. Hutch, seeing this, calmly asks the bus driver to step off. He closes the door and turns to face the thugs. He removes the bullets from his gun, taunting them. Their laughter ignites the fury he's been holding back, and he unleashes a devastating, brutal assault, leaving them all severely injured. He apologizes to the bus driver for the mess and walks home. His wife, Becca, is waiting in the dark. When she asks where he's been, he ominously replies, "It was just like old times." As she tends to his wounds, he confesses he feels her drifting away. Moved, she removes the pillow barrier from their bed, and they reconnect. Meanwhile, we are introduced to Julian Kuznetsov, a ruthless Russian mob enforcer. He is in charge of guarding the Objet, a massive fund of mob money. When business associates question his flamboyant nature, Julian brutally kills one to prove his seriousness. He then gets a call. His younger brother is in the hospital with severe brain damage. One of the brother's injured friends gives Julian a Metro card from the bus fight. The next day, Hutch is a changed man, happier and more confident. He tells Blake he's proud of him for tackling the intruder. Then his brother Harry calls with a warning. One of the thugs from the bus is Julian's brother. Hutch meets with a contact called the Barber, who explains that Julian, while disliking his brother, will still seek revenge to save face. Julian's men, led by his cold-blooded right-hand man, Pavel, track Hutch down. As a car full of assassins approaches his house, Hutch orders his family into the basement panic room. He then expertly ambushes the hit squad, killing most of them before Pavel subdues him with a taser. Handcuffed in their car, Hutch dislocates his own thumbs to escape his cuffs. He uses a fire extinguisher to blind the drivers, causing a crash. Before Pavel dies in the wreck, Hutch whispers his true identity in his ear. He races home to free his family, covering Sammy's eyes from the carnage. He sends Becca and the kids to safety, and she begs him to come back to them. Hutch gathers the dead and wounded men in his living room and delivers a monologue. He reveals he was a former auditor, a government assassin who killed untouchable targets. He retired after sparing a target who had built a happy new life. He confesses he knew his quiet life was a facade. Before leaving, he finds Sammy's bracelet. He then sets his house on fire to destroy the evidence, pausing only to grab a family photo. On his way out, he steals his obnoxious neighbor's prized car. Simultaneously, two assassins sent for his father are effortlessly killed by the old man in his nursing home. Hutch then goes to his father-in-law's office, dumping a bag of gold bars on the desk to buy the company. Julian, watching the news of Pavel's death, is enraged. Hutch, now in control of the factory, covers his desk in weapons. He radios Harry with a plan. Hutch attacks Julian's counting house, gunning down guards and setting the object's millions and priceless art on fire. He then confronts Julian at his club, revealing what he's done and forcing the mob boss to chase him. Julian mobilizes his entire army and descends on the factory. There, Hutch, along with his brother Harry and father David, uses the factory's resources to set deadly traps. In a ferocious battle, they wipe out Julian's men. Harry is shot, but Hutch charges Julian with a claymore mine attached to bulletproof glass, detonating it and killing the mob boss. In the aftermath, Harry and David slip away as police arrive. Hutch leaves a loving message for Becca. A kitten appears, and he tucks it into his jacket with a painting before being arrested. We return to the opening interrogation scene. Hutch is quickly released with no charges. 3 months later, while buying a new house with Becca, he receives a phone call. His services are required again. In a mid-credits scene, Harry and David are shown driving an RV full of weapons to an unknown location. That's the end of Season 1 of Nobody. Stay tuned, because we'll be recapping Season 2 very soon. Please like the video and subscribe to Zach Stories so you don't miss it.